Hey, what's up, guys? This is Nick for the New England Weatherlife.ning.com with the Sunday morning update. I've got a complete technical lowdown on the storm coming up on next week. We've got two storms that we were watching, and they might only be separated by about 24 hours. It's certainly going to be a long duration event. So let's get right to things. Let's take a look at all the model products here. I've got them lined up. I know exactly what I want to show you. I'm going to start you off with the Wharf NMM here, and you can see how in the beginning stages of the storm, here it is developing. Here it is developing over Missouri. There it's going into the Ohio Valley. Heavy snow, probably 8 to 15 inches for a lot of southern Michigan. And then, of course, let's switch you over to and now, of course, the timing for this, we're talking about it coming in probably by midday on Tuesday, or at least our first disturbance coming in. So certainly the funnest model to look at has been the Canadian. It's certainly been the craziest model. But before I show you the Canadian, let's take a look at the NAM. And here's your here's the NAM. Here it is. It's looking pretty weak by the time you get to 54 hours out. So you're saying, Nick, what's the big deal? Well, you go to 60 hours out, and it's beginning to develop a little bit better here over Cape Cod. And then you go to 66 hours out, still hasn't really got itself going. 78 hours out, there you go. Now it's far southern New England. And what you have to remember here is that over the past couple of days, we haven't been that cold across most of New England. So I think for areas south and east of places like Cape Cod, South Shore, it's probably going to be rain. And then you go to 84 hours out, and your eyes, come out of your head. That's incredible stuff that's coming through southern and central New England. And I'd switch you over to the Canadian, which has certainly been, despite the fact that it's handling some convectivity problems overdoing many storms, it's certainly obviously gone crazy again with this one. Look at that precipitation. That's incredible. This is let's see, Wednesday. There it is coming through. And the NAM, the trend with the NAM is actually kind of in line with the Canadian in that it's later. It comes in later. It comes in late on the day, Tuesday, continuing to Wednesday, and then you can see that heavy precip spreads through southern and central New England and eastern Maine, much of Maine, central Maine, even northern Maine. And then by the time you get to Thursday, I think at least for southern New England, we're going to be in a relative lull, but not entirely. So the next product I want to show you is, before we get to that actually, let's get to the GFS. And let's go to, let's see, I said there'd be a relative lull on Thursday. Well, I said a relative lull, I didn't say there'd be a lull. For northern New England, most of northern Maine, it's still snowing late to moderate, but you got a new storm developing off the coast of, let's see, Virginia. And for southern New England, it is kind of a lull. So, 0Z Friday. Look at that storm. It's really getting itself going offshore. I'm going to show you the Canadian again for the new storm. How we've been watching for the late week. 6C Friday. Wow, that's incredible. That is deep into a 984 low, and you've got heavy bands coming into a lot of southern and eastern New England. I tend to blah 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 on these videos, so I'm going to try to keep this one short, but we certainly got a lot to talk about. Now let's switch you back over to the Canadian. Here it is developing offshore. Here's the one ending through a lot of northern New England, northern Maine. Wow, look at that. Let's see, 12Z Friday. That's amazing stuff coming in there. And then it's pretty much over by the time you get to 0Z. On Saturday, at least for southern New England, northern New England, I think we might still have a band coming through, at least early on the day on Saturday. Now, I showed you one GFS product. This was, by the way, the GFS. I showed you the Canadian. The NAM hasn't come into range yet. But one model I really want to show you, this is also the GFS, but this is the wind speed. And people, I mean, it's true that people just forget about wind speed completely when it's not involved with a hurricane or a tornado. It's true. So I decided to take a look at the wind speed probabilities for this storm. There's the pressure center coming up through Michigan. There it is. This is by the time we get to 12Z on Wednesday. And this is 0Z on Thursday. So I've been talking about a relative lull on Thursday, folks, and I showed you that it picks up back again on Friday and Saturday. But for southern New England, I think we might still be getting into some of the strongest winds. So it's precip for southern New England on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then wind on Thursday, and then maybe you get back into the precipitation on Friday. So here's the strong winds coming through with the first storm. The second storm is just a monster. It retrogrades south of New England probably. But even then, you're still talking about sustained winds of about 30 to 45 miles an hour. That's sustained winds. That means you're gusting 60 in some spots. And look at that widespread 40 to 50 sustained offshore. That's maybe a gust of hurricane force well offshore. So obviously plenty to talk about with this storm. I mean, hurricane force winds offshore, plenty of precip from the Canadian. And we're just going to have to wait it out. In terms of snowfall amounts, it's way too early. But I think that a lot of interior southern New England, central New England, northern New England, and Maine has the potential for over a foot of snow with this cold air settling in. That's it for now. See you guys later. This is Nick for the New England Weatherlife.ning.com.